Hey happy campers, how we doing today? We're back out camping this weekend. Last weekend we came out. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. It was real cold, snowing and blowing. Tonight we got a little bit different. We are supposed to get quite a bit of rain overnight, so we want to bring the tent out and give it a shot and see how it does in the rain. Right now it's 44 degrees. I think it's supposed to only drop down to like 30 degrees, so it's not gonna be overly cold tonight. My wife, last time she wasn't feeling very well, so tonight she decided to come out camping with me and try out our new tent. So right now we're going to go ahead and unpack the car, get our tent set up, get a fire going, and we will see you back then. So I spent all this time and I built the fire. We've been walking around here picking up sticks and stuff, and I must have stepped over these 3 times, and my wife says, "Look, surface finds." A penny and a nickel.
Heads up too.
Both heads up. It's got to be a lucky sight. What else I was going to talk about? What was it?
Oh, I got a lottery ticket. We'll see if
Oh,
I get lucky.
that's right. So I needed to break some change, so I bought a lottery ticket earlier. I want to make sure I had smaller denominations when I bought firewood. That way I could go ahead and haggle with the guy. Amish guys, you always got to haggle with them. So I bought a lottery ticket, and what you know, I won 30 bucks. So we traded that in at the gas station. We were at the gas station because I had to buy a lighter that I forgot to bring one. And then we forgot to buy it. We were so excited about the other lottery ticket, so I had to go to another store. But anyway, here's the lottery ticket. Let's see how we do.
6, 3, 29, 26, 24, and 4.
Come on, big money. I want to be camping on the beaches of the Bahamas.
All right, last one. I'm a loser.
16.
Well,
Wah, wah, wah. Well, there goes our luck. Sitting around the fire talking about funny things that have happened to us. We're trying to come up with stories to tell. We want to have a story around the campfire, and the one I came up with is opening day of buck season. We're getting snow, probably about an inch an hour. If you looked at my hat, I had a brim hat. I had about 3 inches of snow on it. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been sitting since sunrise, waiting for a deer to come by. Never seen anything, nothing's moving, wind's blowing, it's just still. Now my back is right next to a creek. I'm leaning against a tree that is leaning over top of a creek. And then all of a sudden the creek sounded a little bit different. And I look to my left and I see a buck walking down the middle of the creek, and it's got a hole in the back of its neck. I could see where the slug had gone in. Now mind you, this tree is leaning over the creek, my back's to it. He is now 6 yards away from me. I grabbed my shotgun and I pulled up to my waist as this deer's going on the other side of the tree. And I swing to the right hand side just as this deer crosses up on the ground right next to me. I look down at my gun, look up at the deer, he sees me, and I pull the trigger. He's not even 4 yards away from me. Shoot him, he rears up, falls over it, and falls in the water. I'm still shaking, can't believe what happened, so I go ahead and start chasing after this deer that is now floating down the creek. It floats down the creek. I'm running next to the creek. It comes up to a big flooded area where there was some trees growing up out in the water. And half of its body's going around one side of the tree, half of the body's going around the other. Me being extremely excited, it's my first buck, I want to make sure I get him. So I go back to my area where I was hunting, and I grab my drag rope, and I bring my drag rope over, and I got a stick with the rope, and I'm trying to get around its antler to pull it in. Oh, by the way, it's just a half rack. It's 3 points on one side, nothing on the other. Not an impressive deer by any means. So I go ahead and finally wrangle this rope around the one antler that's sticking up on the side of the deer. I go ahead and pull it, and I pull my feet right into the water. It's 22 degrees and the water is up to my waist. So now I'm already in the water. I might as well go ahead, grab a hold of the deer, and drag it up on land. At this point in time, I realize I'm in trouble. I leave my gun, my bag, the deer, everything laying right there, and I start working my way back towards the car.
Sorry, I know how this ends.
It gets better. So I'm only about a third of the way back to the car, and my pants and my boots are starting to freeze up on my legs, and I realize I got to get them off me. So here I am. I'm in the middle of a big cornfield, stripped down. I've got no pants on, no boots on. They're left throughout the field, left them right where they were. And I take my coat off, and I'm holding on to the sleeves, and I'm duck walking on my coat to keep my feet from touching the snow because it's so cold. I'm screaming in the middle of the field. Here I am, only wearing a t-shirt, walking on my coat, screaming for help, for somebody to come help me. Nobody comes. I finally get up to my vehicle. I turn on the car, and of course it takes 20 minutes before the vehicle warms up, so I just sit there and shake. So I drive back home to go ahead and get some clothes on and hopefully some help to get this deer. Where we lived was a very residential area. Neighbors every side of us. I pulled up to the house, and I'm honking my horn, hoping that my wife, Cheryl, comes out and brings me some clothes, because I don't know how I'm going to get from the vehicle to the house without people seeing me.
Mind you, this is before cell phones. He could have called me and gave me a heads up.
I've got no underwear on. I've got nothing on. I'm beeping the horn. She's not answered. I figured I'm going to make a run for it. Now, where we lived was an extremely safe area. We never locked the doors, ever. For whatever reason, my wife locks the doors. I take off for a dead sprint for the front door and run right and grab that handle and open it up to run right inside, and bam, the door is locked. Now, I'm like a deer in headlights looking around. It's in the middle of the afternoon. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon now. Neighbors all over the place, and I'm beating on the front door butt naked trying to get inside the house. She finally lets me in. I go ahead and warm up after shivering by the fire for a long time. Get different clothes on, and I go drag the deer out and grab all the rest of my gear. Now, if you leave a deer in the that has been in the water for a couple hours and it's freezing outside, all that water freezes onto him. That deer must have weighed 250 pounds full of water. It took me another, I want to say, 2 hours to get it back. It's after dark now, and I finally get it back to the vehicle. Anyways, that's the story of my first deer. I hope you enjoyed it. Well, the rain has started. It came in, a couple sprinkles, and right from there it went to a pretty steady rain. So we didn't have much warning. It started coming down now, and it says it's supposed to pretty much do this all night long. They expect it to be heavy at times, but continuous all night. So we'll probably be getting in the tent pretty soon. It's about 11 o'clock now. Well guys, we made it through the night. It did rain quite a bit. Probably from 11 o'clock on, all it did was rain. Slept pretty good. Wife said she got chilly, but she never really got cold. I felt pretty darn warm. I usually don't get cold anyways, but inside the tent, it's dry. I don't feel any moisture coming through whatsoever. Even on the inside of this feels dry. Our mats, there's no water anywhere I could see. So yeah, the tent kept us dry. We got her percolating now. Can't wait. Campfire coffee. Coffee is done. Pull out the insides. Nice. Smells good. And now we enjoy a cup of coffee with a coffee cake. Well, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. We got the camp all cleaned up. Tried to pick up some other trash that was here also. Beautiful morning. I can't believe how nice it is. It's supposed to start raining in about an hour. We've just been talking and enjoying our coffee and just enjoying how pretty it is out here. What a great place to wake up in the morning. I hope you enjoyed the adventure that we took you on. Please go ahead, like, comment. We'd love to hear from you and see what you have to say. Any suggestions, please let us know. And you have a good day.